Hey, what's up, guys? So, in this video, I want to take the time to show you how you can crush your goals in 2021 using some Mac apps that maybe you're used to, maybe you're not used to, maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. And one or two of them might come as a bit of a surprise, but I'm going to try my best to explain my logic to you. Hopefully, you'll understand where I'm coming from, and I think it will make a lot of sense. So, if you're ready, let's dive right in. Now, the first one that we have to talk about is called To Do. All right, now To Do is a long-standing feature when it comes to the App Store. It has been available for iPhone and iPad for as long as I can possibly remember. In fact, it was probably the very first to-do list app that I ever used. And today, they're still going strong. They have an awesome Mac app that is extremely, extremely useful. Now, I have a confession to make. I have skipped and hopped and jumped back and forth between different to-do list solutions in the past, and just recently have I come back across this one, and I'm going to make it a huge point to allow this to be the one tool that really dictates my day in 2021. Personally, I have some changes coming up in 2021 that are going to be a lot different, and so I think to have a task manager that is my end-all be-all, even if I use other project managers for different kinds of projects and things, like no matter what, this is where the ultimate motivation for whatever tasks I need to do for that day is going to come from, right? I actually put it in here. If I need to complete it somewhere else, fine. But if it's not here, it doesn't get done. And I think that is a really great way to treat this app. One of the things about this app that's really, really cool is, contrary to most others, it doesn't force you into a particular methodology. Like, whatever makes the most sense for you, this will support. If you're really into the David Allen getting things done methodology, which is probably one of the most common methodologies for to-do lists, it will help you with that. If you're not into that and you like to just kind of set things up on your own, that's fine too. And so the way it helps you is it actually divides things into lists, projects, and tasks. So here you have lists, and I just categorize these based on the major different things that I have going on. And then for some of these, I have particular projects, and for some of them, I don't. And so I just treat projects as kind of like a catch-all for the different kinds of things that I have going on. And so I can go into my marketing and I can see what things are needed for that project. Of course, I go into it over here, and now I have the whole entire project to look at and see what tasks do I have to do right this minute. And again, I'm still filling some of this out, so I have a lot of empty tasks, but that's a really helpful distinction. And then, you just command N to create a new task, and you get all the options you could possibly want. That's what's really sweet about this particular program, is you get, everything, all the repeats, location, audio notes, the actions that you want to take on the calendar, so or on the event. So, like, for example, if you wanted to call somebody, you could add that, and then right there from the to-do task, you could actually make the call. So that's really cool. It's even got task duration. Makes a distinction between when a task is started versus when a task is due. So it's really, really neat, all the different functionality that it has. Smart lists, you can come over here and say, okay, I want to see only things based on how many days out I have to do them, or I have this one set up that says, okay, I want to see everything that's due in the next 7 days, but I don't want any of those tasks to be repeating tasks. What are the one-off tasks that are due in the coming week, basically, is how I have that filter set up. And then I have everything for the next 3 days. Of course, you can view everything all at once, but then the list starts to look a little daunting and unruly, so you can just filter it down. And To Do, I think, is a great app. It could really, really help you crush those goals in 2021. Okay, the next one I have for you is Evernote. Now, Evernote is another one of these long-standing apps, and it's actually really, really interesting, because with Evernote, it's really, really hard to know what to do with it in the beginning, because it's blank, right? It's a blank slate that you can do so much with. But again, it's just another one of these apps that once you get into it, right, and once you start actually putting the time into it and adding notes to it and adding tags and notebooks and organizing and sorting, you kind of wonder how you ever lived without it. And I have been paying for Evernote forever now. I mean, it's been years and years and years that I have been on their paid plan because it's such a good product. It's such a good tool. Their paid plan allows you to do a little bit more than their free. Of course, their free plan, you're a little bit limited as to the amount of things that you can have, as to how much data you can upload each month, etc. And I just want all of those constraints gone for myself. So I pay for it. It's like $60 a year that I pay, and it's so worth it. I'm using this on a daily basis to organize all of the different parts of my life. Just all these different notes over here, software development, personal, ministry, just all these different areas of my life are being managed over here, and it's so much easier to keep track of things. So if you're storing notes, if you are needing to clip things from the internet, there's a helpful browser extension that allows you just to go ahead and clip whatever page you're on, sends it right into your Evernote account, and you can organize it and tag it and whatever you'd like to do with it later. Super helpful. You have templates you can use. You can create your own custom templates. You can manage those templates. It's a really great tool, and I highly recommend it. I think it will help you crush those goals going into 2021. Okay, so here is another one that I have fallen in love with recently, and it's called Ulysses. Now, Ulysses is a writing app. Okay, it's a writing app. Now, why would I mention this? Why would I mention a writing app? Well, here's the thing about it, okay? So I am convinced that when you're a business owner, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're in sales, being able to write is a huge and necessary skill. Okay, even if the nature of that writing is such that it's eventually going to become video or podcast or whatever, I understand. But most business owners, I would say, are going to be people who, going into the next decade, need to understand how to use writing, how to use the written word. Again, even if it goes into another form of medium, like a podcast or a video. And Ulysses is just an excellent tool for interacting with the written word. It's an awesome editor. It uses Markdown, okay, which if you're a writer, multi-markdown is like key. You've got to be able to use multi-markdown. It helps so much. So, for example, if I wanted to, let's just say I wanted to start a brand new project. Let's go into miscellaneous, right? So if I say I wanted this to be a header, and I wanted to say this is the title. Okay, by putting the hashtag there, that tells me it's a header. Okay, a heading 1 specifically. So let's say I wanted to write something. I am now writing this letter to you because I think it will help you crush your goals. Okay, now what just happened there is this. If I preview this to show you what it looks like, you see it gave me that in a title, okay? It gave me that in regular text, and where I put the single asterisk, it put a italics around that, and then where I put the double asterisk, it put that in bold. Okay, so you see it's actually a way to format your text on the go as you're writing. So it's super helpful, I think, and multi-markdown has sped up writing for thousands and thousands of individuals. You might as well let it help you as well. And with this tool, what's really neat is once you go into preview mode like this, you see we can export it as a docx. We can do it like that. We can format it as a PDF, or if we're in publishing mode like we were before, we can actually hook this directly up to our WordPress.com or WordPress.org blog, and we can hit publish. And so now the different things that we need to publish, we have available, right? We can choose which one we want, and we can actually send this directly to WordPress. We can do the title, we can do the categories. For example, there's a category on my personal blog called blog, and So we have that. And then we could add our featured image, our link, our slug, just do we want it to be formatted in WordPress 5, HTML? How do we want to do this? Do we want to open an editor? Do we want to go ahead and publish it as a draft? We have all these different options. And so I think that Ulysses is an extremely helpful tool, especially if you're doing any sort of blog publishing going into 21. But even if you're not, and you're just doing some generic writing, or you need to get your thoughts down on paper somewhere, or you need somewhere to draft emails before you send them actually into the email program, this is a great tool to use. I think it's extremely helpful, and it will make a big difference for you going into 2021. Okay, now I love this app. I just do. Okay, this is called Spark. Okay, this is called Spark, and Spark is an email application by the folks at Readle. And if you are like me and you have trouble with your email, with keeping your email straight and organized, this is the app for you. I am a huge fan of Inbox Zero, and I rarely get there even with this app, but I don't think I would ever get there without this app. Now, here's what makes this app fundamentally important. Okay, the distinction between this app and others is it is equipped to handle the email that comes into you in a smart way. Okay, in other words, you are going to dictate what emails are important to you and what emails are not. And it will make some assumptions about this in the beginning that you can tweak and fine tune if you want to as you go on. So when you are in your unified inbox, you can come right here and have a unified inbox, or you can separate it out between the different inboxes that you have. And what you will see when you are in an inbox is you have people, and then you have notifications, then you have newsletters, then you have pins, and then you have your scene down here. So they call it a smart mailbox, okay? Now you can do classic, and this is just, okay, when an email came in, we're going to put it in the chronological order in which it came in. But the smart goes ahead and organizes it for you. So when you don't have time to look through all of your emails, it's going to know which one of those are newsletters. It's going to know which ones of those are notifications, and it's going to know which one are from people, and the ones that are from people may need to be taken action on sooner than others. So it's a great tool for that. There are lots of little things about it that make it just awesome. For example, I can go into any email that I want to, and I can come over here to where it says more, and I can create a link. And so if I create a link to that, anybody can see that link. If I create link, I can come over here. Let's go back over here, and let's grab just a brand new window in Safari, and I can paste that. And boom, you can actually open that email as a link. And how helpful is that? I mean, for me, when I'm working with people and there's an email that is buried weeks or months or maybe even just days ago in email threads with them, and I want to point back to a specific email, I just create a link to it and send them that, and boom, it's right there for them. It doesn't get mixed up in the email threads, etc. It's so clean and so simple, and I don't even pay anything for this, okay? It's just free. I think there might be a paid plan you can get on with them, but I think it just gives you more team functionality. And so it's actually a great tool for teams as well, but in full transparency, I don't use it that way, and so I don't know about those features and how helpful they could be for you, but that might make it even more helpful for you than it is for me, and it's already just about my favorite app. It's extremely helpful for me, so I spend a lot of time in it, and you can even choose to be notified based on the different, you can add, here's where you can share and discuss email. You can create a team right here. You can choose your notification level. So if I go into the settings, I can choose if I want to be notified in a smart way or if I want to be sent all notifications, and I can do that across the different accounts that I have. Just super, super helpful tool. So this is the Spark email app by the folks at Readle. It's a great tool, and I think you'll love it, and it'll help you crush those goals. Okay, last but not least is an app that may not be for everybody, but if you're like me, I am a Christian, my spiritual life is extremely important to me. This app is what you need to really get in dive into the Bible, to do the research you need, and to come away with a better understanding of the Bible in 2021. Again, for me, my spiritual life is extremely important, so this is a huge deal for me, and I want a tool that will allow me to study the Bible in a way that is fruitful and productive, and will help me to get closer with the Lord, and will help me to understand Scripture better. And this is the tool that does it for me. It's called Logos Bible Software. It's, again, an excellent tool that will help you crush those goals, those spiritual goals in 2021. To even start to dive into this would almost just do it an injustice, because of how fully featured it is. But you can go check it out for yourself. It's entirely free. Now, of course, you can add tools to your library. You can buy specific packages from them, and those do cost. But boy, are they worth it. I'm on a plan with them called the Connect plan. It's $25 a month, and they give me this just entire slew of resources for that. I think close to 400 resources that I get for that 25 bucks a month. That is just super helpful. It gives me everything I could possibly want and possibly need. I have a basic Bible study layout that I like to use, where I can click in here and I can get started. It's got the basic tools I need. It's got the some different Bible versions that I like to compare against. It's going to have some commentaries. It's going to have some Hebrew lexicons, and even text converter. It's got just the basic things that I need to get started as I'm doing my Bible study. And then when I want to add things, I can just go right here to my list of tools. And as you can see, I have a ton of them, and it's all interconnected. Everything in Logos Bible Software is interconnected. If I'm looking at a verse over here, I can click on it. And I can see just all the information just about this word, about this verse, about this selection. I can get the word pronounced to me in Greek. I can come over here to the reference, and I can grab the passage guide. So I can basically come right here and look and see all the information at a glance that Logos Bible Software has about this passage. So I would highly recommend you check out this tool if your spiritual life is important to you, and it will be another great tool to help you crush your goals in 2021. So let me hear from you in the comments below if you are excited about any of these tools. If you have any questions about them, I'd love to interact with you there. And let me hear about your goals too. What things would you like to see done in your personal life, in your spiritual life, in your work life, in your productivity, whatever it is, in 2021. I love to find a tool to help you achieve those specific goals for your life as well. All right. Thanks. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.